Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have a Deanston, 24 years old, 1996, bottled 2020, and this is 54.3% ABV. Yay! Cask number 97, and there were 517 bottles. So Whiskybase number 179229, and now the question of the day I want to ask you at the very beginning: what does this bottle cost? What should it cost? So first of all, it's triple digits. It's not below 100, it's above 100. And it's not quadruple digits, it's not 4 digits yet. So what should this cost? Let's think about it. Let's think about it. No, it's not that much. It's only 165 euros and 90 cents. Now, I don't know about you, but 80 euros, 100 euros, anything above 100 euros is like, oh, do I really need this? Now, I do know that the new bourbon benchmark is $100. And that does hurt sometimes. And so for a 24-year-old single malt Scotch in a Oloroso sherry cask, 165 euros is going to sound like a bargain, but for me, that's still a lot of money. Now, I thought about this for a moment, and I decided to take a Old Particular. This is a Glenrothes. This is 15 years old. This is 48.4%, and it's dark like the night. I've actually done a video about this. This is from Douglas Lang, and I'm going to compare this. Now, before I go on anymore, I want to talk about two things real quick. So luckily for me, I have a support group over here in Germany. They're called WhiskyJason Superfans. Now, these superfans support me on Patreon, and these superfans support me on my YouTube channel in German. I have not yet, I do not want at the moment to monetize my English channel, but my German channel is monetized, so you could join there. And everything that I do for my Patreons at the moment is basically German. So even if you wanted to become a WhiskyJason super fan, everything would be in the moment of the German. If we got enough people, we might be able to do parallel two things. And so what I do is I allow them to actually recommend bottles to share. So this was a bottle, one person said, hey, could you have this? So I bought this and I shared this. And this was also a bottle that I bought and I shared. And people are like, oh, get this, Jason. I was like, I don't know, get it now. And it was sold out within very few minutes. And luckily I managed to grab a bottle. So the second thing I want to mention is, just like Roy, I now have something called challenge coins. Yay! So if we put this in here, we have our challenge coins. So these cost 5 euros each. So I have a couple hundred of them. So if you want to support the channel, this is something I can actually send all over the world. I can't send whiskey all over the world, but I could send challenge coins all over the world. I'm working on Glencairn with a WhiskyJason logo on as well. And so if you would like to have a challenge coin sent to you, we can work out PayPal or transfer bank money, transfer whatever, and we can actually get you those coins. Send an email to whiskyjason@gmail.com. And we'll make that happen, all right? So that's something I can announce for the first time ever here in my channel. All right, so now what I did basically before I did this video is we were having a discussion on one of my groups the other day is, what are the typical tasting notes for sherry? Now, there are many different types of sherry, but there are basically two main sherries that we talk about a lot. The first one is Oloroso. Oloroso sherry often shows some type of nutty aromas, maybe walnuts. It's combined with polished or balsamic notes, which I thought was interesting. Very subtle dried fruits, toasted hints of tobacco and autumn fall aromas, and there are notable spicy notes in older examples. And there's also subtle maybe meaty hints, truffle, leather. So I thought that was very interesting. Now, in comparison, we actually have here the Pedro Jimenez, which we often have a lot. And in the nose of the bouquet is extremely rich with predominantly sweet notes of dried fruits, raisins, figs, dates, maybe accompanied by some honey, grape syrup, jam, maybe some candied fruit. At the same time, there's a little bit of maybe a toasted coffee, dark chocolate, cacao, and also licorice, which I thought was interesting. So what we have here is why I was talking about that is we definitely have Oloroso. And the Oloroso is here very, very good. Now over here in Germany, we have something that we call garden lovage. All right, if you ever have been to Africa or you've been to Germany, you'll see something called Maggi. M-A-G-G-I. And Maggi is what we put in our soups. And we have little tiny Maggi, tiny little cubes that we put in our soups and some of our other dishes. And Germans love to use this garden lovage, also called love parsley in some parts of the world. And so many people say, oh, I get automatically here this lovage moment. And it was like, wait a second, none of the official sites in English, at least, mention that at all. And so it's very, very interesting to see how one country associates a certain thing with something and other countries don't. Just like I think it was Russia, I think, they have different orange colors. And what we have also in Germany is we have different pinks. We have a rose-colored pink, and we have more of a very, very, neon pink. And they separate. For me, it's pink and pink. And I think other countries have different greens and different things and so on. And so it's very, very interesting to see what we associate with our countries and what certain countries like and what other countries don't particularly love. All right, so a little excursus and cultural understanding there. Now on the nose, I get some very, very nice notes here. I get some Christmas cake, I get some plum, I get some cinnamon. Now here, actually on the back, we have the tasting notes, which I like. It says here, a nice nose with hints of Christmas cake. Forgot it was there. Sweet barley and sherry. Now a sherry matured whiskey, a tasting note of sherry to give that tasting note is a little bit lame in my personal opinion. All right, so that's that. Now this is, as I mentioned before, 54.3%. Now when I do it straight, it's a tiny little bit too sharp, a little bit too peppery for me. By the way, the finish, when they say black pepper at the end, they basically mean a heat from the alcohol. And so what I'm going to do is, since I've worked with this whiskey a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to bring it down to about 50%, and I'm going to go yum. 54%, it was like almost burning my tongue. 50% yum, 40%, oh, weak. So I like to have something around the 47, something around 50, maybe even 52, 53 is exactly where it could be. Anything above that gets a little hot often, not always. Cheers. Nice. Now this is a complex whiskey that is something for more advanced drinkers. I don't think a beginner's drinker is going to shell out 165 euros and say, give me that whiskey, I'm going to do shots with it. This is something we're just going to actually like and enjoy. How often do you get a Deanston that's 24 years old from an independent bottler for a price which is below 200 euros? Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow, nice. Very nice. Honey, a little bit of waxy moment. I get a lot of cinnamon in there. Dried plums. Prunes, what they're called, right? Dried plums or prunes. So on the back of the thing, it says here, the palate is warming and full body with some toffee apple, dark chocolate, sticky, spicy cinnamon bun. The finish has a good length with a hint of tobacco, dried prunes, oh look, and black pepper. Very, very good. So now for my German channel, it's a problem sometimes that I do a lot of rare and exotic whiskeys. There's 571 bottles of this in the world. And so basically 571 people could go looking for the video about this. Don't think so. Even if 100 people that bought the bottle watched my video in German or in English, I'm going to be more than pleased. Now, more than 100 people watch my videos, at least in German. So between somewhere 400 and 1,000 people usually watch my video on a daily basis. And that's fine. I'm very happy with that. So what we're doing is actually we're separating ourselves from the mainstream. At least I'm separating myself from the mainstream by doing a lot of these doing a lot of these superfan picks, because they don't normally want a Bunnahabhain 12. They don't want a Taubamori 12. They don't want a supermarket whiskey, like they said. They want these expensive bottles that they will not buy for themselves, but they want a little sample bottle and say, hey, I tried it and I know it's good, or I know it's great and I'm going to buy it for my birthday. So it's a little bit of a question that I'm having for myself. How am I going to rectify that problem? On the other hand, for my English channel with my rare and exotic, exactly right. Hey, the more single casks I do, the more exotic they are. So my comparison whiskey is a single cask. This is 105 euros. This is part of the Douglas Lang Old Particular Midnight series, where they take especially dark sherried whiskeys and fill them up. Glenrothes, 15 years old. I like this a lot. Do I like this better? It's 105 euros, 165 euros. 24.15. Yes, I know. 48.4. 54.3. Yeah, you got it right. Orange peel, orange marmalade. Very typical Glenrothes. And it feels younger. So we do have a lot of a very smooth, a very silky, a little waxy moment. As I said, I really think this is a whiskey for advanced drinkers. You're sitting in your Chesterfield armchair. You're enjoying the softness of the leather. I don't want to say a cigar because I'm totally against smoking, but you get the picture, and you're relaxing. You're just enjoying this drink, and that's exactly what this is. This is a treat to anyone that has it. I'm going to give it a B minus. Yep. Maybe even going up towards a B, but definitely a B minus. Value for money, that's where it hurts. I gave it a D plus in my German video. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure if I would give this, and this is my problem. I wouldn't, I know, a B minus if I had not added water. If I did this blind at cask strength, I'm going to go, ooh, too much pepper, too sharp, not my thing. It would have been a C type of whiskey. But with the water added just perfectly, like I know how I like it, that's what the advantage of cask strength is. You get to actually adapt the whiskey to your taste buds and what you want on that day or in your personal life situation, and you get to actually have a bottle that lasts longer because you get to add the water yourself, and you don't have to have the water. You don't have to pay for the water in the bottle already. So, and yet, as I said, if it was blind and if it had not had water, it would not be the B minus. It is a good whiskey. I like it. Very, very good. I am a fan of the Maltman. I did a blind tasting with them half a year ago, maybe 9 months already, and not a single one of them disappointed. Almost every single bottle I've had from the Maltman have been a very, very good hit. I've looked almost my entire life for someone which has a tasting panel that I can trust, and at the moment, at least the name on the bottle, Donald Hart, is a guy I trust. If he says this whiskey is good and he bottled it himself, I'm going to probably agree with him. I think there's been like 90% agreement so far, and this is something, if you find a Maltman, go buy it. You're going to be safe. All right, WhiskyJason here. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, tell others, and don't forget about those challenge coins if you want. They're here. I have a couple hundred left, and they're going to be sent out in the next couple of months, and then maybe in the fall I'll have to reorder it. That'd be great, wouldn't it? All the best. €5 per piece, and postage on top. Sorry. All the best, WhiskyJason. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.